What if I told you there's a 2,000-year-old habit that could fix your anxiety better than half the self-help books on your shelf? No app, no subscription, no guru charging you $300 a session. Ancient humans across the entire world, completely disconnected from each other, all discovered the exact same trick for staying calm. And then, somewhere around the invention of the smartphone, we just dropped it. Like it never mattered. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that trick is, why your brain is basically begging for it, and how to bring it back starting tonight. Let's just say it out loud: something is broken. We have more comfort than any generation in history. Heated homes, instant food, entertainment in our pockets. And yet anxiety and burnout are through the roof. Doesn't that seem backwards? Think about the last time you felt truly at peace, not distracted, not numbed out by Netflix, actually calm. If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. Modern life keeps our brains in a low-grade state of alert. Basically all day email pings, breaking news alerts, comparing ourselves to strangers online. Our nervous systems are lit up like a Christmas tree and never allowed to power down. Here's the kicker. Our ancestors didn't have easier lives. They had disease, war, famine, real threats we can barely imagine. But they had something we don't: built-in daily rituals for resetting the mind. One of those rituals, in particular, has almost completely disappeared. And getting it back might be the missing piece you've been looking for. Ancient philosophers, monks, farmers, tribal elders, across wildly different cultures, all built long stretches of silence and stillness into daily life. Sitting by a fire, walking without a destination, just existing, with nothing to do. Sounds pointless, right? Except neuroscience tells us boredom is actually when the brain does its most important emotional work. It's called the default mode network, the mental space where your brain processes feelings, untangles problems, and calms itself down, all without you trying. We've engineered that space out of existence. Standing in line, waiting for coffee, sitting on the toilet, phone. Every idle second gets filled. Imagine this. The Roman philosopher Seneca ended every single day the same way, sitting quietly, reviewing his day with zero distractions, letting his thoughts settle like dust, finally landing after being kicked up. That was his stress management. No essential oils, no wellness retreat, just silence, on purpose every single day. Here's a fact that might surprise you in nearly every ancient culture on Earth. Breath wasn't just biology. It was considered the bridge between the body and a calm mind. The word spirit literally comes from the Latin word for breath. Yogis in India built entire systems around it. Taoist monks in China treated breathing as a daily discipline, not an emergency response. Now ask yourself, when's the last time you actually thought about your breathing? Probably only when you were already spiraling, chest tight, heart racing. We turned an ancient daily practice into a last resort panic button. And that's a shame, because the science is honestly kind of amazing. Slow, deliberate breathing can lower your heart rate and pull your body out of fight or flight mode in just a few minutes. It's a built-in calm switch we're all carrying around, and most of us have completely forgotten it exists. This one hits hard. In ancient communities, people rarely process pain by themselves. Villages, tribes, extended families, there was almost always someone physically present when things got tough. Grief, stress, fear, it got shared, out loud with real people. Now, we type, "I'm fine," while crying in a parked car. We scroll past hundreds of friends online and still feel completely invisible. Here's a stat that should stop you in your tracks. Chronic loneliness carries health risks comparable to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Let that actually sink in for a second. Picture living in a small, ancient village where your neighbors would notice if you disappeared for 2 days. No suffering silently behind a locked door, no performing okay for an audience. Real connection was the original therapy, and it didn't cost a dime. Every single ancient culture had rituals tied to nature. Watching sunrises, sitting by rivers, walking through forests, not for exercise, but for sanity. Today we've rebranded this as forest bathing, like it's some brand new wellness trend. But the Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku is just old wisdom wearing a new name. Time in nature measurably lowers cortisol, your primary stress hormone, often within minutes. Ancient people didn't need a research paper to know that. They lived it. Meanwhile, the average American now spends over 90% of their life indoors. 90%. We've boxed ourselves into homes, offices, and cars, completely cut off from the one force that regulated human stress for hundreds of thousands of years. Here's maybe the most important point of all. Ancient life had rhythm. The sun dictated when you worked and when you rested. Nobody was pretending they could outrun nature's pace. We do the opposite. We treat slowness like failure, rest like laziness, and stillness like wasted time. But burnout isn't some personal flaw you need to fix. It's the predictable result of ignoring rhythms that kept humans stable for thousands of years. Picture an ancient farmer. He worked brutally hard, no argument there. But when the sun went down, the work actually stopped. No glowing screen whispering just 5 more minutes. His mind was given permission to genuinely rest. When's the last time you gave yourself that same permission without guilt? Here's the part that really gets me. We didn't lose these tools because they stopped working. We lost them because modern life convinced us that stillness, connection, and slowness mean we're falling behind. That constant noise and nonstop hustle are just how life is now. But somewhere underneath all that, you already know something feels off. That tight chest before bed, that racing mind at 2 a.m., that feeling of always being one step behind your own life. That's not a personality flaw. That's your nervous system quietly begging for the ancient rhythm it was actually built for.